Hello, let's begin the poem She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron, George Gordon. So it begins She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. So I have already told you that she here refers to poet's cousin, a beautiful cousin whose name was Anne Wilmot, and poet met her at a London party and he was very much impressed by her beauty. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry sky. She is so beautiful that it appears that she is surrounded by beauty and she is walking in beauty. And in next line the poet is comparing Anne Wilmot with the night, with a clear cloudless night in which the sky is studded with shining stars. So she is just like a cloudless night in which the stars are shining at its best, and all this best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. And the poet says that in her aspect means appearance, in her appearance or in her beauty and her eyes there is the best blending of dark and bright. So her eyes and her complexion is the best mixture or blending of the dark and bright aspects. It is not too much dark and it is not too much bright. There is a perfectness in the blending of dark and bright. Thus mellow to the tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. So mellow means mix in such a way. Mellowed means mixed in a way, in such a way. And gaudy day denies. Gaudy matlab sunny, bright day. So he says, thus mellow to the tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. So her beautiful face is well molded to the tender light which is denied to a fine day. It means that her face shows such a light which is neither too bright or not too dark. So the poet wants to say, he just want to convey the idea that she has a perfect mixture of color. Her color is not that much dark and not that much bright, and she is perfectly beautiful. And in the next stanza he says, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in her every raven tress, or softly lighten over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. So one shade the more, one ray the less. Ray means light, the beam of light. Had half impaired, destroyed. Which waves in every raven means black, tress means hair, or lighten over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express, serenely calm. Dwelling place, as you all know, place of living. So he says, he's describing the beauty of Anne Wilmot, and he says about the beauty, he's describing the beauty of her face here. So he says, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace. So there is a unique combination of dark and light in her face, and it makes her face very impressive. He says that if the proportion of the combination of darkness and brightness is imperfect, or if it's not that much appropriate, that even the slightest change in it can destroy the beauty of that woman. So which waves in her raven tresses or softly lighten over her face, where thoughts suddenly sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. He says that if the slightest darkness is added or single ray of light is removed, the whole charm of her gracious face will be spoiled. The mild radiance of face gives perfection to her beauty. The poet means to say that the beautiful face of the lady is an example of the ideal combination of light and darkness. So he says that one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace. He says that if it happens one shade the more or one ray the less, it would have diminished the incredible grace, incredible beauty of the woman. In short, her beauty is now perfect, so nothing more or less is to be desired. And which waves in her raven tress, and this grace, this elegance is visible in every lock of her black hairs, so and softly lightens over her face, and her face is lighted softly. That means a divine charm rules over her face and her long black hairs, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. Her face is quite expressive of her calm and sweet thoughts. So in other words, her thoughts are very pious, and this gives the poet the idea how pure and clear is the dwelling place of these thoughts, that is the mind of that beautiful lady. The poet conveys the idea that she is so beautiful that that's why she is physically so beautiful, so she should be very beautiful mentally. Is she's also beautiful mentally, so the thoughts and ideas that are in her head is they are considered very pious by the poet, because she is beautiful, so it he assumes so that she has beautiful ideas in her head. So the poet just want to convey the idea that the lady is perfectly beautiful, and she is so beautiful that nothing more or less is to be desired there. She is perfect as she is, and her hairs and her complexion adds a grace to her beauty, and the ideas that she has in her mind are also pious and very good ideas. So in this way, he is not only appreciating the physical beauty but also the thoughts of that woman. So we will discuss the next stanza in the next video. Thank you.